All right.
Oh, and we are live. The Patriots might be cheating again, but that is not why we are here. This is Throwing Smoke. I am Joe B. That is Uncle Randy. And tonight we have a special guest, Eryk, your boy Anders. Dude, thank you so much for joining in. Uncle Randy has not stopped gushing over you since he
No.
said you were going to come on.
You see, he Alabama fan. He got his mind right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Roll Tide.
absolutely, baby. I'm telling you. First off, I mean, I got to thank you for the damn the sack and the natty, baby.
Oh
Alabama
yeah,
history right there. Watching that
trust me,
game,
trust me. It was
that'll
my
always
pleasure.
be imprinted in my brain, babe.
Uh,
Oh. Well, I wanted to get started because
Go
we don't
ahead.
want to take up a whole lot of your time, but I wanted to start there. Like, you were recruited by Shula, right?
That's right.
All right. So I want to know, like, what your thoughts were when you heard the rumor swirling that Saban was going to come to Bama.
I mean, you know, I think it was Rich Rodriguez was the front runner, and so I just remember everybody on defense was like, man, if Rich Rod comes here, then we out because historically his teams don't play very good defense. But if you're a wide receiver or an offensive player, you love Rich Rodriguez. So uh, when they said Saban, Nick Saban wasn't Nick Saban. Yeah, he had a national championship, but he only had the one, and he wasn't doing very well at in Miami. So between the two, he was much better, but no one really knew what he would go on to do just a few years down the road.
Yeah, I just remember as a fan, and I mean, I had to eat crow. I was like, "Oh, I don't really like it. I don't like Saban coming to Bama. I didn't like the way he left Miami, with the I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
anywhere.
I think that was his main criticism coming was the way he came, but it was Bama who had him come that way. So
Hey, I
like
changed
I
my
said,
tune
I
real
catch
quick,
the
baby,
too.
when
Yeah, real
when he
quick.
got here. Well, I just have one other question, football related, and we're going to get on to MMA, but it's all about the process. That's all anybody ever talks about, right? And I was wondering exactly to you, what's the process, and do you still use what you learned in your MMA career in regards to the process?
Yeah, absolutely. The process is everything that goes into giving yourself the best possibility, the best chance at winning. You know, just because you do all these things, you're not guaranteed to win, especially in my sport where one punch can change the whole course of a fight. But, you want to put yourself in the best possible position to win the fight. And I truly believe there's confidence in preparation, and that's what the process is.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Uh, so you're done with football, right? Signed by the Browns as a free agent. Did Canada, played arena, 9 to 5. You're done with that. We're going into MMA. You walk into a gym, and they tell you that you're going to spar Walt Harris. Now, did you know who that was at the time?
Yeah, well, that's the reason I got into MMA. Through a mutual friend, connected me with Walt. He told me to come by the gym. I was like, okay. And I hadn't like been formally introduced to him or whatever, but man, everybody around here in Birmingham knows who Walt is, man. He's from
Yeah.
here. He's very successful fighting career, so everybody knows who he is. And man, just walked into the gym, and the coach asked me if I could fight, and I was like, yeah, I can fight. And then they put me in there with Walt, and I quickly realized that I cannot fight. And man, but I was hooked ever since.
Dude, I bet. I wouldn't doubt it. I had a brief jujitsu career, but it started from an altercation, and then when I actually got in a gym, I realized that I don't know crap about
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
and I'll just keep it on the sidelines.
yeah. MMA and jujitsu and like combat sports in general is a very humbling experience.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the first time I went into a gym, I'm from Huntsville, by the way, Eric. So
Uh-huh.
representing Alabama. That's where I'm from. And so I go into a gym with Team Sturgis there, and I'm fighting one of the guys
Oh,
who's
I used to train with him. I trained with him before.
John Sturgis.
John, John Sturgis. That's
No
right.
shit.
Yeah,
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 I was with John for years, man. Right after college, I went in because I just didn't want to be fat anymore. And these guys were fighting, and it was when it was real new. And John was, I mean, he's still a badass. The dude's a
yeah,
champion.
yeah.
And he puts me up with Lance White. I don't know if you know Lance White, but he he won some local belts, regional belts. And I never fought anything but street fights. And we get in and he's like, all right, go 50% with Lance. We'll see if you're even worth, fighting with our team.
Yeah.
I wasn't, man. I'm telling you, you think you can fight. And then when somebody that knows how to throw a crisp punch hits you in the face, you're like, okay, I don't know shit.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a humbling experience. And I think that's why when you meet people in the MMA community or, jiu-jitsu community, people are really blown away at how, like, humble these guys are. A lot of them are. Not necessarily with the guy you see on TV, but, when they're not in character, so to speak.
Yeah.
So you start your career, with a win in UFC, and then it's like within like 6 months you're fighting Machida, right? Like after your UFC career starts.
Yeah, I think I made my debut in late July. Fought again in December, and then fought Machida in February.
Yeah.
Of the following year. Yeah.
I thought, it's noted on all the social medias. I thought you got robbed in that fight. It really chapped my ass. But what was it like to that quick in the UFC, and you're staring across the octagon from Lyoto Machida, who's a legend, in Brazil too, by the way. Props to you for doing that shit.
Yeah, man. They, I just thought more so than anything that, that's kind of what the UFC thought about me. He's like, hey, this is a guy that go down there and give Machida a run for his money in his hometown. So, main eventing a card and just your third fight, things moving kind of fast.
Yeah, I bet the crowd must be crazy. Like from going to the fight nights and even like from the local circuit to the UFC. I'm sure as the crowd size grows, just the adrenaline that you must get, and then stepping in across and seeing like somebody with a name like Machida and the career that he's had.
Yeah, along with the, when the crowd grows, so does the skill of your opponent, So, man, it was good, man. He was really crafty, and I thought, I just didn't have like the savvy that some of these other guys had back then. So I think it was a little too much too soon for me. But now, I think if I were to fight Machida, I'd put him away early, and we, just perform. I'm ready for those top 15, top 10, top 5 guys now.
Oh yeah, you had him hurt a few times in that fight, or what I remember of it. I know when you split him open, and regardless of being new, I was just like, I thought you had to have the decision. I know that I think the controversial round everybody was debating was like the second round or something. I'd given that to you, but it was such a good close fight. I'm sure you had a lot of the Bama, because you have that built-in following from just the Bama folks, right?
Yeah. And, fighting fights like that, they're really good. It's good experience for you, There's a lot of things I did wrong in that fight that I've corrected since then that, I think made me a much better fighter now than then.
Now, one thing I want to add, as a football player at Alabama, I had one of my buddies I went to high school with, Sean Draper. He played at Bama. He played from 97 to 2000. And I used to ask him, where's his favorite place to play besides home games? And he said LSU at night. That was his favorite place to play because it was so
better place.
Crazy. And I wonder how much that got you prepared for, because you don't mind going to Brazil and fighting people at their home, turf.
Man, I truly don't believe that there's any more hostile environment than Death Valley. Especially, man, we played them in overtime. We played them in 2008. I think we went into triple overtime and ended up winning. And, man, just, I'm pretty sure that place could have registered on the Richter scale. So, I would say that anywhere you fight in Brazil is the Death Valley of the MMA community. They're telling you you're going to die, they don't like pour beer on you or spit on you or nothing like that on your way to the cage. They're just words. They truly don't believe that, you're going to, they don't mean it. It's just, you have home team advantage. It definitely feels like you're playing in an away game when you fight in Brazil.
Hell yeah. All right. So you go from there and then you move in, you're fighting another savage in Santos. And you take that fight 6 days notice, I think, 6 or 7 days notice. And we all know what, Santos just gave everything that John Jones could want and more to him in a very close fight. So that has to make you know that you can beat anybody at 185 or 205.
Oh man, I truly believe that. Especially, Santos, I thought that John Jones would wrestle more because, man, I'm not a collegiate athlete or a collegiate wrestler by any means or Olympic athlete, Olympic wrestler. But, man, I think I was like 6 of 8 on takedowns against Thiago. So I think the wrestling is, where he's the weakest. And I thought that John Jones would try to exploit that.
Well, I got to tell you, man, that I thought the Santos fight, personally as a fan, if I didn't know you, which I did, of course, but it would have earned my fandom for you, that fight, just from taking it on 6 days notice. I mean, anybody that watched that fight knows how tired you were at the end of the 3rd round. A lot of people I know were worried. Like, I remember when it was going on, watching it with my wife, and she knows I'm a big fan. She was like, "Oh God, is he hurt from the elbows?" I was like, "I think he's done. Like, wind wise, like you were just exhausted." And that was more what it was, right? Because you gave it every bit that you had.
Man, it was a combination of a lot of things, man. I got hit a lot. When you get hit, man, it kind of take away your wind anyway. So, I definitely felt like I was in a fight, and yeah, man, I was exhausted. I was tired. Those elbows didn't help any either.
No, Santos is a bad motherfucker too, man.
Combination of a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, those short elbows still give me nightmares from that fight. I couldn't imagine. I mean, they were just, I was like, God, that has to fucking feel terrible in his ears. I mean, just awful.
Yeah, trust me, it looks how it feels.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that, I started my 3-year-old. I've got two boys, by the way. One's about to be 15. He's a quarterback at Hazel Green High School. Actually, his dream is, of course, to play at Alabama with Nick Saban before he retires. Shout out to my son Griffin. And my youngest, Gunner, I started him at Gracie Baja here in Ackworth, Georgia, when he was 3 years old. They took him in the kids class. And I tell my friends I'm going to start him in club wrestling shortly, I hope, to have those two as a base. Like, I just don't think there's anything better. What do you think of that? I lost you, Eryk. I can't hear you. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't hear him anymore.
It's better.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I didn't hear you any of that answer though, Eryk. Sorry.
No, I can't hear you.
Oh,
yeah, and you've trained with Gracie Baja, right, in Brazil?
Hello?
Yeah, he can't hear us.
I hear you.
He can't hear us though. Hello?
Can you hear us, Eryk?
Here.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm gonna remove myself. See if he can hear you.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Eryk, you back? Let's see. No. All right. I think he dropped.
See.
You scared the shit out of me when you bounced, though, Joe.
I didn't do it on purpose, bro. I didn't do this shit on purpose. You gotta adapt and overcome.
Hey, Eryk.
Hey, sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good, man. I didn't hear anything from the Gracie Baja thing with my son. I didn't hear anything after that.
No, I was saying that I think wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I'm also doing the same thing with my kids. And they love the grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu anyway, so this is their first year actually wrestling formally, and then they've been doing jiu-jitsu, since they were like 3 or 4, so they have a good base. But I think with jiu-jitsu and wrestling, they can get live reps, a lot of them, over the course of time. It's not going to do any damage to their body. Like boxing, if trying to get live reps and having them spar at this age, my kids are 10 and 8, 2 boys, probably don't want them doing that right now. Mm-hmm. So But they can wrestle, go hard, get slammed, do all that other stuff, and it's all good.
Yeah, I agree with all that. That's Joe, were you wanting to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
go
just
ahead.
think one thing about martial arts is it teaches you to adapt when shit goes wrong real quick, not to panic, and how to stay straight. Was it one of your last fights, or not last fights, but after Santos, you fought Elias Theodora? He just
Yep.
known as the runner, if you will. When when an opponent doesn't engage you like that, how frustrating and like hard do you have to like figure out how to adapt to that situation where you're just constantly having to chase somebody?
That I think that's one of the things that between fighting him and Machida, learn how to do that and cut off the ring.
Yeah.
Something that I realized the importance of and how to score points. So I mean, although I lost, I think to the champions, they always find a way to adapt, and I think then, I didn't do a very good job. I just had man on the mission, knock them out, and that's it. So I think you have to be more cerebral with your approach, especially when you fight the better guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now you're on that 2-fight winning streak. Have you got a fight offered to you yet? Are you planning to fight soon? What's next for you?
I'm not sure. Hopefully sometime in this first quarter of 2020. They only have one fight card left this year, so definitely not this year. And hopefully in that March, April time frame of next year.
Yeah.
If you're ever on the Boston card, let me know. I'll come down and watch.
All right.
Oh yeah, shit.
love
I
to fight
missed
in
you
the
when we
card.
were here in Atlanta.
You didn't miss much, man. You missed the shellacking. That's all you missed, man. It was all good.
Oh shit.
Beautiful. Hey, well, I think we had a listener question Joe submitted. You want to ask him that one? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Having fought at both 185 and 205, where do you feel you have the most power? And do you think that the UFC would benefit from a 195-pound division?
Man, I think that I think my power is the same, but the middleweights are much smaller than the 205ers. So I think whenever I hit the middleweights, they go flying across the cage or they end up on their back or get KO'd. Not really the same for the 205ers. So, I think for me, where I'm at, that's my best chance at success is 185.
Now, at Alabama, you had to be, I mean, if I remember right, you had to be every bit of 250, 255, 260, right?
I think 250 is the biggest I ever got.
Good God. Fighting 185 is crazy. But that's on that college diet of stuffing you with all the food, right?
Man, I was on a catfish diet because I was a lot smaller than the guys that wanted that position. So they just like eat. So I ate everything all times of the night and lifted super heavy. So I had like those big bulky football muscles. And so just doing even just the training in and of itself, lost a lot of body fat, shed a bunch of that bulky muscle. So it's all lean muscle now, and just just feel much better now than I ever did when I played football.
Oh, I bet. I mean, and for the people that don't know, I mean, you were a grinder at Alabama, like you're a career guy that, you didn't start right away. I saw an interview where you talked about, you thought about leaving the program. You had that powerful discussion with your father, and you almost left Alabama like your sophomore year, right? Thank goodness you didn't.
Yeah. It turned out to be one of the best decisions I made was to stay at Bama and finish my career.
So how's that feel? Because your class, I consider, I mean, you laid the foundation. It wasn't the same Alabama. Like people know Alabama's historically great, of course. But there was a time where it wasn't this Alabama now. Like people forget that. They're spoiled, you know what I mean? Like these fans, they think that it's always been how it is, where you're almost guaranteed you're going to be in the national championship hunt every year. Didn't used to be that way. And your class laid the foundation of what Bama is now, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between Shula and Saban is when Saban came, he created a competitive atmosphere. He didn't care if you were a freshman or a fifth year senior. The better player is going to play. And don't think that just because you started game 1, you're going to start game 2, game 3, game 4.
Mm-hmm.
So one, that everybody has to like compete with each other, and then so it creates a competitive atmosphere. So every play is almost like a game because the receiver don't want to lose his spot, the DB don't want to lose his spot. So it creates that competitive atmosphere and that competitive spirit in players who, maybe it was too easy for them in high school and maybe they didn't have that, coming in, but now they have it and they're already a great athlete who now loves to compete and knows how to compete. And it just, man, how can you, mess up that formula?
Yeah. And Joe, we got one last question from a listener here before we let you go. I know you got to train. Okay, you have a question. What did you think about Volkanovski's leg kicks to Holloway? Do you think those were enough to win the fight and take the title from the champ?
Man, I thought that Volkanovski won a pretty decisive victory over Max Holloway. He hit him more in every round. He made Max fight left-handed. Max is a righty.
Yeah.
Who does switch, but he usually goes back to being right-handed. So that lets you know that the kicks were effective. So unlike when I fought Machida, I barely felt those. When Max was feeling those leg kicks, he had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's those? We always talk about punches, but what was it like for you first time you took a real leg kick from somebody?
Man, I fought Roundtree, and that's what he pretty much did was,
Jeez, yes, I remember that.
Side leg kicks. But for me, typically, I don't feel too much during the fight. It's afterwards. The next day, we fought in Atlanta. I took my kids, me and the wife took the kids to the aquarium, and man, I lasted about an hour. That's my leg just started hurting. It got stiff, and I was like, man, I can't do it anymore. We got to go. So, but during the fight that night, man, it was all good, but the next day, totally different story.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man, I'm going to let you run, man. I don't want you to be late for training. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this, and everybody else did too. We're going to release this on our podcast here in a few days. But, man, it was a pleasure talking to you, Eryk. Big fan, bro.
Man, my pleasure. Anytime.
Yeah, man. Have a good training, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, you too.
All right, buddy. All right. All right. Well, that was your boy, Eryk Anders, champion. Huge fan here. Clearly, everybody can see that. Uncle Randy loves some damn Eryk Anders. I don't know how that – we'll get that sounding right, though, once we get everything in post. As we say, I think Joe B also dropped these technical things, baby. That's what makes it so damn fun. But I enjoyed the shit out of that, man. Having him on. I know he's going to be heading to training. I hope to hear that he has a fight coming up. That's what I was hoping, that he'd let us know, or that he had one planned. But I love to watch that guy fight. He brings it every fucking time. That's how you become one of my favorite fighters. My guys have always been, the Diaz brothers, of course, Evan Tanner, and Eryk Anders is right there with it for me. Not only because of the Bama connection, but his fighting style is what Uncle Randy likes. All right, Joe B texting me. I don't know if he's dropping off on purpose or what. I think this is fuck with Uncle Randy day. Have to slap me some hoes, goddamn. Come on back, Joe B. Yeah, I want Joe B to come back, so I want to talk about UFC 245, and just found out UFC is raising the pay-per-view prices coming up January for Conor McGregor. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What up, Joe B? What up, dog?
I swear to Christ. You can't fucking win at this shit, bro. It's not, I don't know what the fuck.
Hey, babe.
Hey, Brookies.
That's my wife.
What a
Brooke
fucking
from Married AF.
That was great. He was awesome. I wish I could have told him on the way out. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to
I
like.
do want to hold him up. He's fantastic. He's super nice. Also, when he was leaving, I
Yeah,
want us to have him back on again. Get him set up with headphones and
hell yeah. No, I agree.
all that. But
Not just so much interview, but like just shoot the shit about stuff.
dude, I know, man. Then what an athlete, though. You know, to come from Alabama football to UFC, and he's fought nothing but. I mean, looking back at his even just hearing you and I talk about who he's fought beasts.
Oh yeah. But even on his climb up, I mean, he went 10-0 before he lost to fucking Machida. You know what I mean?
No shit.
Like he was a 10-0. He tore through the lower divisions. LF won the championship for Legacy Fighting Alliance. Yeah. Their inaugural thing at middleweight. Went to Bellator, won, came here. It's like he climbed his way through the ranks, like as you would hope to see a lot of these fighters do. So,
dude, how dope is that he knows my coach?
That's pretty cool.
John Sturgis. Shout out to John Sturgis, the powerful John Sturgis. That gives me a super damn knowing that he knows John. John was a beast too, goddamn. So it doesn't surprise me.
But I'm glad you got to get your nut off with the Alabama shit. Fucking let me talk to you about it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, anybody knows me knows I'm a diehard. I've been my whole life. God damn, it's the truth. Not one of these new fans. I went through the hard times, son. Well, let's talk about UFC 245 a little bit. About what I want to know your thoughts. We were both garbage cans with our picks. The worst shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. You know what? And I almost changed to Usman at the last minute before I sent the artwork to you. But I'm like, no, man. I think he's got a shot. But that fight, dude, that fight was amazing. And props to Cody for sticking in there with the broken jaw.
No shit. I thought it was a great fight. Great fight. I think they need to run it again. I really do.
Yeah. Like that. Watching them fight, the animosity that's there, I could see like that rivalry continuing for a little bit. But they're talking him and Woodley possibly, with Masvidal going up for the championship, or fucking Wonder Boy. What the hell is that? Like,
I don't know.
Why is his name even coming up right now for the shot?
Because he's such a nice guy.
Come on, man. Like,
well, first off, before anything else, did you hear Woodley freestyling?
No, I refuse to listen to his raps.
It was the worst shit I've ever heard. Dude, I love some Woodley. Old school Woodley, especially before he stopped throwing his hands. I mean, he's got dynamite in his right hand. He quit throwing it. But it made me embarrassed for him. It was on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I mean, he had an album come out.
Oh, but dude, freestyle is where you see what somebody really is, and it was brutal.
You think he was really off the top or just pre-written?
Yes, it was so bad that it wasn't some shit he had wrote, but he's just not good at it at all.
Yeah, I agree with Vince. There was no kickboxing, no wrestling, nothing. Just all head punches, all body punches. Usman's body punches. Whew.
Dude, you rarely see a jaw come unhinged like you did. I mean, Colby had his mouth wide open, and I mean, if somebody catches you with your mouth open and they catch you on the jaw, it's done.
Yeah, no, it was great. That was a good fight. I like that one.
But Colby showed to me, I think both their stocks went up, but he's tougher than hell. And I wish he would have just been a little more gracious in defeat if I'm his PR guy. Just a little bit.
Yeah, but he's still gonna play that card, right? Like if you're creating that character, you gotta stick with that character, win or lose. You can't just jump ship. I mean, I think that's one of the things that pisses people off with Conor. It's like you'll talk all this shit, like overly hyped up, throwing dollies at buses, fucking talking all this bullshit, and then when you lose it, you're like, "Oh, I love you, buddy. You're my best friend now." It's like, nah, bitch, like that. With like Khabib, that shit don't play in real life. Some places,
yeah. That don't work with guys like Khabib and Jorge Masvidal,
right? I mean, this isn't WWE. If you want to play that type of game, fucking go over there. Like, I get you're really fighting, but I also agree with Vince with the fuck Conor.
Oh yeah, I mean, it blows my mind that I think that's what's going to that pay-per-view is actually going to do. I don't think it's going to do what the UFC thinks it's going to do, especially with them jacking up the prices for a Conor McGregor that hadn't won in fucking forever.
Right. Yeah. That's my problem with it. I figured it was eventually going to go back up to 65 because that's what it was already at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and now that ESPN has Disney's, you can, the allure of it. Oh, it's only $5. You can move away and shit like that. But I'm
But
sad.
you're paying for the ESPN Plus.
But you were going to anyways. I mean, especially like with the whole Disney thing. Why would you not have bundled it in with that? They're almost like separating it from the UFC deal.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, it still
whatever.
chats my ass. How this fucking cutting the cable, people thought it was going to save them money. This shit don't save you money no more. Now you're paying for all these fucking, it's the same.
Right. Yeah, it's the same, but you don't have to pay for everything. I mean, you don't need that CBS shit. You fucking get YouTube TV or Hulu and then you can have your live TV plus. I mean, Netflix.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Netflix, yeah. I mean, Netflix has stand-up comedies and they have some good original content, but Disney Plus, bro, like, come on, man, the fucking shit that's on there. If you're into anything of that shit.
Yeah. Vincent's got a point here too about Usman could have played his role a little more and been like, I loved shutting that motherfucker up. But
yeah,
he was kind of gracious in defeat or in victory.
He played the I'm American. He gave you the immigrant story to America. He gave you the America story. I'm going to Donald Trump. It's the American dream. I'm that person, which he is. You know what I mean? He's doing the damn thing. He's out there busting his ass and made himself fucking champion and defended the belt.
But nobody's going to watch that motherfucker fight if he doesn't have a good dance partner. He gives me zero.
Even after that beating, or not, I don't want to say beating, but even after that fight with Colby, even after the fight with Woodley, you don't think that he's turned it around as far as just like wrestling and grinding against the cage. He's coming out swinging and throwing punches a lot more. So I'd be more interested now to see what he does next. But of course, if his dance partner is Masvidal, yeah, that's a good dance partner again.
Yeah. But if it's Leon Edwards, I don't give a shit about either one. Like, that's the thing. What if that fight happens? And for purists, that's a great fight. Like, skill wise, I love that fight. Paying $65 if it's the main event, suck me. Like, it doesn't. I'll do it for our show and shit, but like, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't buy that fight.
I mean, I do it for Masvidal. I probably not with Leon Edwards, unless they like beefed up the rest of the card to make it worth it. But
yeah, and Usman's already beat Leon Edwards once. Now Leon Edwards has been on a tear since, but he does have that win over him. So I think that points more toward Jorge.
But there's your story, though. I mean, you already have somewhat of a story to build off of. I don't get the Stephen Boyd Thompson thing. I don't get why that shit's blowing my mind. Like that shit that I read today, that shit makes no sense to me at all. Like
zero.
Edwards and Masvidal are the ones that make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think
no matter
everything is on hold to see if Conor beats If Conor loses to Cowboy, everybody's fucked. Their financial futures.
Oh, fuck.
It's how powerful this dude that hadn't won in years is.
Yeah. Shame. Fucking.
What do you think about old Amanda Nunes?
I think she played smart. She was smart and fucking took that bitch down and used her wrestling skills and jiu-jitsu skills, although almost got into the triangle, but to maneuver and take her down, not just throw the hands. So to me, that shows me that she's definitely the GOAT still. Dude,
all of a sudden she's a killer wrestler.
Yeah.
Like taking down Durant, but I think Durant to me also proved that she's no run over. I mean, Amanda's face, she took some shots.
Yeah, no, she definitely landed. But that's why Amanda was smart and used her ground game to get her down. Versus, you know what I mean? Instead of just sitting there and go, well, I'm gonna just stick by this plan of bang and see what happens because I knocked out Cyborg. I thought she played very smart. But to see like the girl that they're talking about, the boxer, The woman that wants to
Yeah.
fight Nunes, like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, I want to see them come to MMA, like you said.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like Amanda Nunes. Like, I wish people like. I love that she's starting to catch on. But when people really start to appreciate everything about her story, not just that she throw them things, she's clearly got good wrestling, jiu-jitsu's very underrated, but she's a great story. I mean, she's an openly gay woman in a great relationship. Her and her wife punch each other in the face in training. So, I mean, what a better way to work out their bullshit, right? As a married couple.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you go punch her in the face.
And it's not considered domestic, or
I know. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, where did she go from here? Like, what else is there for her? She's pretty much cleaned out her division. I think she's going down to featherweight again. No, bantamweight.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
she's
know.
going down again.
They've got to get some women to step up. You know, it's weird, but these goats in women's MMA, they come up and they separate themselves pretty quickly, right? Like you got Cyborg, the Rouseys, and then now Nunez. Those are the ones that like clearly separated from the pack at a certain time. So I'm interested to see who steps up. Who'd you have winning the Max Holloway fight?
Volkanovski, yeah, after I watched it again. Like he was saying, like and I agreed, and I didn't even think about it, but having him stay in Southpaw, like fucking up his whole game plan basically. That shows me that he won. I guess Max was on Rogan today. I did not listen to it yet, but they were making it seem like he got robbed. I don't think he got robbed. I think it was a very close fight, and he lost. I'm not a fan though of champions losing by decision. Really.
Yeah, I don't like that. It sucks. I mean, I do like the old school way of thought that you had to beat the champ to beat the
Be
champ.
the champ. Yeah.
Because I think right now with judging, if it was when John Jones fought Gustafson, if it was now, Gustafson gets that win. But he didn't get that win because at the time they were making people beat the champ to beat the champ, I think. You know, because the fact that Max Holloway lost the belt on this kind of a dispute, I don't know, it doesn't sit good with me. I don't know why it didn't. You know, my gut even says I think Volkanovski won the fight, but then I'm just like you. I'm like, but I don't know if he won it by enough to beat the champ. I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah. I don't like it when it comes down to that, but that's what happens. Especially, I mean, Christ, GSP wouldn't be champion half the time. Or at least with like was it Hendricks? Hendricks fucking beat the shit out of him. They do need to overhaul judges. I agree.
I think they got to start the fuck over. There's some shit that's unbelievable. Which one was the fight? There was a few on this card where the judges, when they looked at the scorecards, were fucking crazy. I think somebody had Colby up 4-0.
Are you serious?
In the Usman fight. Yeah, they had him up that he won all the rounds.
All right, well, that's no.
You know, they should, when they see something like that, that person should immediately be fired. I don't know how they do it. Now, I do think, again, and it was the same way when we talked about the Overeem fight. I didn't like Goddard stopping that at that point with Colby. I think you got to let him go. He was still defending. Sure, he was hurt, but you don't know that his jaw's broken as the referee. Everybody wants to throw that in, but he was still grabbing a leg and shit, man. You got to let these guys fight out of it. You know, you never know. Just like Big Boy proved with 9 seconds left when he sent Overeem's lip into the crowd.
Yeah, 4 seconds. Christ, no. But yeah, I think you have to. I like the beat the champ to be the champ, and the decision isn't enough. You gotta stop him. Whether submission, knockout, something like it should be a stoppage, TKO, like I don't know, some shit.
Yeah, and this is a great point. We've talked about this before about the judges be ex-fighters. I'm all for that. I just worry about conflict of interest, like if their old team, like if they're former Winklejohn guys and John Jones is fighting, is there? But, you know, I'm still more for making it ex-fighters for sure that have been there.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I think it should be fucking Congo versus Barry. Yeah, no shit. That's one time that Vince just remember that came down to the very last second. Congo beating the shit out of, or no, Barry beating the shit out of Congo the whole time, right to the fucking end. Fucking crazy.
Oh, we'd be
So-
robbed of a lot of good shit. I mean, we talked about the a fucking ref now would have stopped that Maynard Edgar fight 100 times.
Oh God, yeah, yeah,
Would have been stopped 10 times.
both of them. They would have never been what they were.
You know, and our boy Faber, we were both picking him with our hearts, I think, and not with our brains, to be honest. But what a tough son of a bitch, man. I mean, but that motherfucker from Russia is just a fucking robot from hell.
I'd like to see him in Cejudo. I'm not a Cejudo fan.
Oh, I think he kills Cejudo.
I hope so. I'm just not. I am not a Cejudo fan at all. I get that he beat DJ. That sucks. But he is such just a pompous asshole that I'm just
Of all
not.
gimmicks, I think his is the worst.
He just he's such a nice guy to play the bad guy. Like he's full of shit.
Yeah.
Like you were already the nice guy. You can't be the nice guy and then switch to no, I'm really a bad guy.
On bended knee. Like what?
Yeah.
Taglines are so cheesy. Like fuck, man. He makes Chael Sonnen look like a fucking crypt.
Yeah.
Fucking crip straight off the streets.
Ugh.
That's how bad at it he is. But this fight right here, Vincent says Scott Smith versus Sells. I remember that fight. Scott Smith got hurt to the body and like bent over, like, and then fucking Pete rushed in and Scott knocked him the fuck out. It was incredible. But that'd have been another one that'd have been stopped real quick. I don't know what to do about the damn stoppages. Now, I think Uriah's stoppage was fair. He was
getting his ass beat.
Dude, and he got his at what hurt me the most was he was getting beat up pretty good, but he looked over to his daughter and wife in the crowd in the front row and like waved at him at one point.
Damn.
Which was cool. I love that about him.
To let him know
okay, Daddy's okay.
Yeah.
Then he gets his eyes split open. And it's right there in front of his wife and daughter. Like I was just putting myself in their shoes, like that sucks.
Yeah. No, it doesn't, especially because he retired and came back. You don't need to fight. You can bow down, sir. You pass your knowledge on to the next, as the Cody No Chin Garbrandt.
Yeah, Cody
is being referred to now. Is starting shit in the back, like he's Nick Diaz gonna avenge the loss.
Cody gets too emotional, man, and that he carries that shit into his fights, like overly emotional. I think it works against him actually. And it's put him in these fucking throwdowns, and getting knocked out 3 straight fights. I mean, I hope he's figured it out. I actually like it when he's good, but I hate to see a guy with string together getting knocked out like that.
His fight against Cruz when he won the belt, like just him moving around was amazing. Like, I mean, he made Dom look slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get all hyped up and emotional and then have his first 2 losses are fucking TJ, which controversy because of the EPO.
Some funny shit right there. I think it's true. I think Cody does have daddy issues, actually. It kind of looks exactly like that. If you know his story, there's daddy problems. Yeah, I think that's actually fucking right on. Did you see Matt Brown murder Ben Saunders?
No, I heard it was great. I was at a ugly sweater party.
Oh, for the prelims, yeah.
Yeah,
old ass Matt Brown still bringing the motherfucking thunder.
The immortal, man.
Dude, he is like he's one of the guys that he is what he says. There's no doubt. There's no gimmick. He's a guy that would terrify me if the shit's going to get real.
My only question is why come back?
It's got to be money, I would think.
That's a shame if it is.
Yeah, it shows that they don't get paid enough.
Especially
what Matt Brown's done.
Yeah, no, I agree. Figure out, get him a job at the Institute or something. I know Mike Perry lost, but I missed that one.
Oh, dude, he got shut up pretty quick.
Was it 90 seconds or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Honestly, to me, and we
Come
talked
on.
about this before, I think you brought it up just in passing. Like, I want to see how he does after that nose, right?
Yeah.
And I think he looked like he didn't want to get hit again, which is understand. Dude, I get it. I'm not knocking anybody. If your nose gets removed from your face,
Uh,
I don't know if I want one again either.
no shit. Ring walk is a drug. I could agree with that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
sir. They need the the adrenaline of the whole thing. And somebody like Matt Brown, dude, that's his whole life, dude. He's been fighting like that forever. That the immortal is no bullshit. If somebody's nickname is fair and that's his nick, the dude is incredible
hell yeah.
and meaner than hell. I remember in the Ultimate Fighter, somebody was fucking with his chew, and he wanted to murder them. Murder them. I don't remember who it was.
I don't want this fucking internet to cut out again, or whatever the fucking issue was.
Well, what do we got next? What's the next card? Is Cowboy and Connor all we know on the UFC 246?
I can look right now. I think there were other ones mentioned. UFC 246. Yeah, it doesn't even. Yeah, it just shows them so far. And then Jones and Reyes are in February. I think Joanna's in April.
Dude, I'm liking this Jones and Reyes more and more after they face off.
Yeah,
I felt some steam from John. I think John sees that this hungry kid isn't scared. And I mean, they are eyeball to eyeball. It's like looking at a mirror image in size and length.
Do you think that Connor is going to beat Cowboy? You're going to take?
I'm like a conspiracy theorist. I'm almost to the point now. I wouldn't put it past the fucking UFC that Cowboy takes some absurd fucking dive.
Get out of here! Blows his nose.
I'm just Eddie Bravo up in this bitch, but something tells me
Look into it.
Cowboy's going to get pizzade, and we're going to see him get dropped by something stupid.
Dude, if that shit happens, bro, I don't know. I'll fucking boycott UFC, go over to Bellator unless like Eric's fighting.
Dude, did you hear about Rory McDonald going to the PFL?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think the Red King is scared of anybody, but I mean, did the Lima fight fuck him up that? Why would he leave and go there?
Man, maybe the Lima fight fucking scarred him. He doesn't want that fucking shit anymore. And
dude,
that's
you talk
he
about
would have to.
He's had wars ever since he fought Robbie Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's taken more damage in a period of time that's been. I mean, his Lima ate his leg up something atrocious.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he doesn't want. But then just get out. I mean, they've been saying it. His coach is the one saying that he's back and that he wants to fight. But then you're going over like you said, I don't want to say it's down a division, but it's not Bellator. It's definitely not UFC. I'm sure they have great caliber fighters, but you see what happens as they climb through to get to UFC. They don't usually pan out well, especially because they usually get thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the PFL promised to make him like the center of all market. I mean, I would think they would. He's going to be by far their biggest draw.
Yeah, crazy shit. What else did I see? I know there's a bare knuckle fight coming up, but it's somebody.
Yeah, it's
Hector Lombard.
And is it Gonzaga? It's two UFC fighters.
Yeah, no, Gonzaga just fought, I thought.
Yeah, he just killed Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, right? Yeah, so I think it was Lombard and crap. Man.
I'm I'm just ready for things to, as much as I love all the shit talking and back and forth, it's just weird that no fighters have a clear path on who they're going to fight, because right now the rankings really don't mean dick.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Vince said he just sent the 246 lineup to our Twitter feed.
Twitter. Oh, dope. So it's Joe Riggs and
Oh, there it is.
Hector Lombard.
Old ass Joe Riggs. Yep. Dude, Joe Riggs used to be like 300 pounds. It's fucking incredible.
Damn. So prelims, right? That can't be all right. So JJ Aldrich, Sabrina Mazzo. No. Here we go. Oh, your boy Sodek's fighting Yusuf.
Oh, nice.
Claudia Jagea, however you fucking say your name.
Claudia Jadalia.
Yeah, there you go. Versus Alexa Grasso.
All right.
Main card, Macy Barber's fighting.
Okay.
There you go. I want to see her and Paige go at it.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Paige is too busy showing her tits on Instagram, and I get it.
Yeah. Holly Holm is the co-main against Raquel Pennington. Diego Fiera is fighting Anthony Pettis.
Who's fighting Anthony Pettis?
Diego Fiera.
Okay.
Grant Dawson. And Chase Skelly. I'm down for some fights. You would think they'd build a bigger card for Cowboy.
I think they just know that fight is going to...
That Connor's a draw. You don't need anything else. Come on, man. Hook Cowboy up, dude. Get him all the buckets.
Dude, I'm with you, man. The more it gets closer, I'm going to get more and more pissed off if I start thinking about the possibility of Cowboy.
Bullshit. Yeah. I don't think he's that type of person.
Dude, he's been a company guy. He always has me stepped up. Like, I could see Dana.
But though.
Hey, Cowboy, one time I'm going to make it worth your while, goddamn. We're going to give you, $1 million and 1% of the pay-per-views. But I need you to sit your ass down the first time he throws a left hand down the pipe. Thank you.
No way. If that were ever to happen, he would be smart. I mean, he would destroy the UFC, really, if he just did the horror or the Nate Diaz thing. I'm not fighting until this shit's fixed.
Yeah. I just need to know what the fuck. The longer that this goes, too, the worse it looks for that it's not going to happen with Nick and Jorge. Like, Nick is not getting any younger. I need Nick to go. They got to do whatever they got to do and sign that motherfucker and get this done.
I think part of it is probably waiting to see how this fight shook out, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jorge's durable as fuck. I can't remember Jorge ever missing anything due to injury.
No, but if Colby won, would you not have made the Masvidal fight with him?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, but now
I don't think Masvidal has any interest in Usman. It's just boring, and he wants money fights.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yep. I'm all about it. Shit. So what are we? What's our plan? We're going to be back in 2 weeks after Christmas.
Yeah. Probably calendar. Let's see. Take a little Christmas break, spend time with the family, recharge some juices, line up some guests. You know what I'm saying? So say January 8th.
All right.
Does that work for you?
Yep.
Dope, dude. Fucking take for 13 episodes, I think we're off to a great start.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we got us our first UFC fighter, Eryk, your boy Anders. Can't thank him enough. That was incredible of him to stop by.
Hell yeah, dude. That shit was awesome. Having Rob from McDojo Life a couple weeks ago, us getting it in and just being able to shoot the shit, watch some fights and be able to talk about it, chat blowing up with Vince in there.
Yeah, and I think we do need to do if you're down, I say we go ahead and like really plan it out and do a buddy beat down for Cowboy and Cerrone. Or Cowboy and Connor.
Yeah.
Cowboy and Cerrone.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can get some people in watching with us, fucking hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Be sure not to show the fights so we don't get in trouble again.
Yep. I'm all
And then-
about it, brother. Well,
Fuck
shit.
yeah, dude.
I'm gonna run out of here and eat my dinner too.
Hell yeah, dude. It's been a good time.
Yep. All right, brother, man. Well, I will holler at you later. Let's tell them where they can find us in our other shit.
Hell yeah. Well, in 2020, you can find me at any podcast. Any pod will do on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Kyrie.fm/anypod. Go there and you can talk with other people that are listening to it and enjoy the interaction, the community that's there, a bunch of listeners.
Boom. Uncle Randy here, goddamn hell. You can find us on Married as Fuck. Me and my wife, Brooke. We are Married as Fuck on Twitter. We got Smoke Throwing for us here. And Married AF Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, goddamn.
And if you have questions that you want to send in, you can hit us up on Twitter, like you said, at Smoke Throwing, or even email them to ThrowingSmokeMMA@gmail.com.
Boom.
Boom.
All right, brother, man. Well, we'll holler at all y'all motherfuckers later.
I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, bro.